Just when you thought the Kanye West-Kim Kardashian drama couldn't get more explosive, it did. But this time, with a twist, no one saw coming, not even the tabloids. It all started when TMZ dropped a bombshell report on a quiet Friday morning. According to their sources, Kanye West, the 47-year-old rapper, had allegedly sent a fierce legal warning, a cease and desist letter to his ex-wife Kim Kardashian. The accusation? That she was exploiting their 4 children, North, 11, Saint, 9, Chicago, 7, and Psalm, 5. The letter reportedly accused Kim of violating their custody agreement, denying Kanye access to his kids, and worst of all, abandoning North in a parked car while Kim strutted down the Met Gala red carpet. The public was stunned. Was Kanye going after Kim in court now? Were the co-parenting tensions reaching a breaking point? And why now? But within hours, everything changed. Kanye's camp issued a fiery response, and it sent shockwaves through media outlets worldwide. They said the letter was a complete fabrication, a hoax. Not just inaccurate, not just exaggerated. Fake, as in, it never existed. Kanye's spokesperson told Page 6. The letter is quite obviously fraudulent. TMZ didn't ask for comment before running the story, and this morning, they finally emailed us with second thoughts, asking if it had been a publicity stunt. No, you fell for a hoax. Let's break that down. TMZ didn't even confirm with Kanye's team before publishing the story, they just ran it. And only after the backlash started did they reach out, wondering if they had been duped. And duped they were. Let's talk about the supposed law firm. According to TMZ's original report, the letter came from someone named Kathy Johnson, claiming to represent Kanye and working for a firm called JB Law Firm, supposedly based in Palma, Spain. That's odd enough. Why would Kanye, a global celebrity based in the US, be working with a random firm from a Spanish island to handle child custody issues in California? It gets weirder. No one could find any trace of this law firm operating in Palma. The phone number listed? Disconnected, and it was previously associated with a travel agency, not a law office. The whole setup screamed fake. Still not convinced? Well, even if the law firm existed, there's no evidence that Kathy Johnson is licensed to practice law in California, the only place that would have jurisdiction over the Kardashian West children. So here's the question. If Kanye didn't send this letter, who did? And more importantly, why would someone fake a legal threat from one of the most controversial figures in pop culture? Is it an inside job? A rogue fan trying to stir the pot? A calculated distraction from something bigger? Or could it be someone close to the family trying to manipulate the media? We don't know yet. But what we do know is this. This hoax, real or not, exposed how fast misinformation can spread, how even major outlets can fall for elaborate fakes, and how, even post-divorce, the story of Kanye and Kim is far from over. Because whether the letter was fake or not, the real drama between Ye and Kim is still boiling underneath, and this was just the smoke. As the news of the supposed cease and desist letter sent shockwaves through media outlets and social platforms, the details inside it began to paint a dark and dramatic picture. This wasn't just a vague complaint or some offhand jab, it was an explosive, calculated message that struck at the heart of Kim Kardashian's identity as a mother. And even now, knowing it was a hoax, people can't unsee what was written. The letter claimed that Kim had taken their daughter North to the Met Gala and left her unattended in a parked vehicle while she made her red carpet entrance. It painted a reckless, almost negligent image of a woman who supposedly valued glam over her child's safety. But to anyone who had been watching that night, the narrative didn't add up. Kim had told Vogue she brought North to New York specifically to share the experience with her, and videos showed the young girl getting ready with her family. There was no evidence that she had been left alone in any car. And yet, the accusations spread like wildfire. Because when you mention Met Gala, Kim Kardashian, and child endangerment in the same breath, the internet doesn't pause to fact-check. But the letter didn't stop there. It went deeper, more personal. It claimed Kanye hadn't seen Saint at all this year, and that Kim had severely restricted his access to their other children. It suggested she was intentionally cutting him out, violating the spirit and possibly the legal terms of their joint custody agreement. Again, this was contradicted by recent public sightings. Kanye had been photographed in Japan earlier this year with Saint, Chicago, and Psalm. But the damage from the letter wasn't about facts, it was about feelings. Doubt had been planted. That's all it takes. And then came, perhaps the ugliest part. The letter accused Kim of using North for her own image, of ignoring Kanye's public and private pleas to keep their daughter off TikTok and out of the spotlight. It essentially said, "You're exploiting our child, and I won't stay silent." This touched on a long-standing fight between the two. Kanye had raged before about North being online. Kim, meanwhile, had often stayed silent, likely hoping the storm would pass. But now, even if this letter was a fake, the wounds were being ripped open again and in a very public way. When the letter turned out to be a hoax, many breathed a sigh of relief. But a strange question lingered. Who would go to such lengths to impersonate Kanye West so convincingly? The fake law firm, the detailed knowledge of his ongoing disputes, the emotional tone that mirrored Kanye's past statements. It wasn't random. Someone knew exactly what to say to reignite the fire. Whether it was a fan, a saboteur, or a disgruntled insider, it showed how fragile and exposed the situation between Kanye and Kim really is. For Kim, this wasn't just an internet stunt. Sources close to her say she's shaken, furious, and done being quiet. The accusations were false, but the impact? That's very real. And for Kanye, whether or not he sent the letter, it's now part of his story. Part of the chaos that seems to follow him everywhere. As the storm around Kanye's alleged cease and desist letter gained traction online, reactions were swift and explosive. Social media platforms ignited with commentary, some defending Kim Kardashian, others siding with Kanye, and many unsure what to believe. But everything took a dramatic turn when a spokesperson for Kanye released a blunt and shocking statement: the letter was fake. According to them, TMZ had fallen for an elaborate hoax, and no such document had ever been sent by Kanye or his legal team. The supposed lawyer who drafted the letter, someone named Kathy Johnson, claimed to represent a Spanish firm that, upon deeper investigation, barely seemed to exist. The phone number listed was disconnected and previously linked to a travel agency, not a law office. Even more telling, no public records confirmed this lawyer had the right to practice in California, where both Kim and the kids reside. This twist exposed glaring questions. Who was behind this fake letter? Was it an attempt to sabotage Kanye's already shaky public image, or a smear tactic aimed at Kim? The layers of deception only added to the chaos already surrounding the pair. Meanwhile, Kim remained silent on the hoax, but sources close to her revealed she had heightened security and warned her inner circle against posting anything online that might expose her children's whereabouts. According to insiders, she was deeply disturbed not only by the false allegations but also by the content of Kanye's latest music. In his new track, Heil Hitler, Hooligan version, released on V-Day of all days, Kanye rapped disturbing lyrics, glorifying Hitler and expressing rage over his custody battle. He even blamed the situation for turning him into a villain. The song featured repeated chants of Heil Hitler and included a sample from one of Hitler's 1,935 speeches. Unsurprisingly, it drew widespread outrage, with calls for him to be banned permanently from streaming platforms and social media. Kanye's behavior grew more erratic. He went on a live stream with controversial internet personalities, continued to praise Hitler, and claimed the dictator would have liked him for being a scientist. The more he spoke, the more people began to wonder if this was a publicity stunt a mental health crisis, or both. The firestorm reached a new peak when Kanye stormed out of an interview with Piers Morgan after being pressed about his online behavior and anti-Semitic posts. "You're not taking inches off my dick, bro," he snapped mid-interview before walking off set. It was chaotic, unpredictable, and deeply uncomfortable hallmarks of what had become Kanye's new public image. Kim, according to reports, was doing everything she could to shield her children. She had allegedly never denied Kanye access to them, despite his public claims. Still, the threat level around her had risen so high that she instructed family and friends to refrain from sharing anything online about her kids. And just like that, what started as a fabricated legal letter ballooned into a global media frenzy, highlighting not just the bitter conflict between Kim and Kanye, but also raising unsettling questions about fame, mental health, and the destructive power of misinformation in the digital age.